function, pumping and dumping, manipulate the market, flooded from the darknet, flooded from the deep web, keep it a secret. Every exchange got the nerdy brains trading on the frequent.
All right, here we go. Let's move over to just chatting. Making sure the audio levels are, we're going to go straight into this. Perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. I know we had a delay because my computer, I cannot wait to get the new streaming computer. But hi, welcome to the DCG 201 live streaming channel. I'm Sidepocket. I'm one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201. We are one of the many computer hacker groups across the United States and around the world. And if you want to know more about us, in the chat, here's the link to our blog. And here's all the links to our socials via our link tree. So normally I'd have a way longer intro, but between the computer woes and that, I'm also really excited for this episode. I'm going to do some of the other announcement stuff after we get to this amazing subject that I'm really honored to have on the show, just because, you know, we haven't done live interviews in a while. It's been like over a year now. And long story short, I recently went to a blockchain security event in New York, and what I found was I got introed to this amazing team called Olympix. I hope I pronounced it right. They're probably going to correct me in a bit. And they have an amazing platform, but you know, don't take my word for it, and especially because I don't want to botch it, because I actually have the developers right here to interview. So we're going to hop right over right now and go say hi to them. So here we go. I hope I pronounced your organization right. It's Olympix, right? Awesome, perfect. So real quick, sorry, tripped over my words. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves to our lovely streamers out there?
Well, my name is Moacir. I am a principal engineer at Olympix. My main goal is to architect and produce software for security analysis in the company. And I don't know what about to say now. I'm engineer for 20 years, and yeah, that's it.
I've been doing these episodes forever, and I still don't know what to say. So the next one up.
Hi, I'm Connie. I'm the CEO at Olympix, and I'm just here supporting the engineering team while they build amazing things for the Web3 community.
And Josh, were you able to get to your mic? Sorry, Zach, are you able to get your microphone work, or are you just here as the awesome mascot, like the way I am for my organization?
I think he's having mic difficulties.
That. Oh.
On Zach. Oh, go ahead, Zach.
Okay, he can hear us. No, we can't hear you.
Damn, that's
well,
damn,
so
that
Zach
sucks.
is the founding engineer at Olympix. He's incredible. He's working on our newest product, which he'll give you a bit of a teaser on after Moacir tells you about our free product that has 12% market share right now and is really leading on the security side for Solidity developers.
Well, I will say this to Zach, that because we do have a text chat, unless you all want to communicate anything he wants to say, I can gladly echo that in chat once we get to that point. And before we get into this, I just want to first also say that you had your launch, was it I think it was last Thursday? I've lost all track of time, but regardless, congratulations of launching your platform. The reason I have you guys on here is because I looked at it and I've been using it for the past like 2 days, testing out the beta, and I've been really impressed by it.
Awesome. Thank you. We really appreciate it because this is our main tool to develop more code.
Really, talk about rough development times. But I'm going to ask a ton of questions later. Apparently, you have a bunch to show about what your platform is. It's kind of in our video description, but again, I screw up descriptions all the time. So how would you describe what Olympix is and the awesome new tool that you folks have built?
Okay, it's pretty easy. It's basically, if you build contracts, how do we know if they are safe enough to deploy? So we are the answer, because our job is basically find vulnerabilities on your contracts.
I'll just tack on to what Moasir said, that we really believe in a proactive approach of security, that putting power into the developers and arming them, strong arming them with the right security tools will lead to the future of a secure Web3 ecosystem where developers can write code without solely relying or thinking they need every single audit, multiple audits. We want to give them as many tools as they can. So the reliance on audits can go down a bit. So you can have one audit instead of three. So you can own static analysis, dynamic analysis, all portions of the proactive stack prior to going to get an audit. And so we build the best tools that supply those for developers.
Yeah, basically, when we are developing software, depending on Web3 or not, usually the tools are not so focused on engineers. Frequently, we only know the mistake in a complete version when we deploy the code, because there is I don't know, DevOps process in your company, and then the continuous integration is analyzing your code. So you see you don't have your code safe there. So you need to deploy again a new code. You need to change your PR, etc. So you waste too much time. And then the goal of having a tool like this is, you know, the vulnerability is why you type the code.
And from what I understand, I believe you wanted to show because I could try to do it on my end later, but you have a visual demo of your auditing tool. Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Let me try to share my screen.
You have the option of either screen sharing should be, or being able to move things towards the slide deck. Let me try to see if I can help you on my end.
Can you see my screen? I'm trying to do this right now.
Yeah, it's loading up right now. Hang on, let me make it bigger. So that everyone at home can see it. There we go. We can totally see your screen. Knock our socks off.
Perfect. Okay. If you have any issue with the font size, just let me know. I can change my resolution or whatever we need to do. Okay. Well, basically, the extension is the extension for VS Code. So you need to have VS Code installed on your computer. And it's a free tool. Everybody usually uses it nowadays. And so be sure you have it updated and then open it. So this is the VS Code, okay? I'm not introduced VS Code because VS Code is a popular tool. Probably people already know about this. What people don't know is they can protect their contracts using our extension. So the first thing you can do is go to the extensions menu from VS Code and search for Olympix. And then you can install the application. So you basically click on install, and then you have this icon here on your project, on your interface. So you can click here. In my case, I already signed it in, but if you don't have an account, it's pretty easy. You only need to provide the email, and the email needs to be unique, of course. And then the interface will help you to just finish the account creation, but it's very simple. You want to provide your email and click your 1, 2 buttons, and that's it. So you have this interface here. So this is how you see the extension on your databases. So basically, you open your VS Code, and then you have the extension here. Okay. So what do you do next? You need to open a project. I have variables here. I like this project because it's huge. It has like 1,000 files. So if you have a tool that needs to be fast, this is a perfect project for this, because 1,000 files, you need to be really fast to analyze them all. So I click here in this project, I open the project here. This is the project, Variables. It's also open source. And you can click here on Olympix. So for now, if you have any other question, any question about what I'm doing, just let's talk about this, because I will show you many things. So the first thing you need to do here is pretty simple. You can just click here on Start Analysis. And then we analyze your full project. And then here you go. You found a lot of bugs and vulnerabilities. And here we are only searching in the contract folder. If you are searching for also the node modules, what you also can do, you could do something like this. Analyze the whole project back here and start analysis. And then of course you have many more items here, like 1,000 items we found. So we found a lot of items in your node modules. But the thing is, if you're an engineer and you're installing a package, you don't want to change the package because it's very annoying. But you need to know if they are secure or not. So this is why you have this option to avoid wasting time with things you need to install on your project. So we can disable this, and we can enable or disable main analysis detectors we have. We already disabled some of them by default to avoid a lot of noise. But basically that's it. So I will start analysis again to show you it's working. And then here we are. Basically what we are showing here is we found 67 issues, but from the 14 we believe they are high severity that could make some damage on your company if you deploy the project like this. And then we also have 28 medium severity and low. So the thing that we can do here after knowing this information, because this is basically used as if you can see the vulnerabilities, right? So what we can do here is we can see all the options we have here. That means we found 7 vulnerabilities regarding unchecked token transfer, which is a vulnerability. We found 1 regarding creating length array as loop variable. We found 6. We found many of them here, and we group them for you, but you can go directly to the vulnerabilities itself, which is this section here. So we organize them so you don't waste your time if you're seeing something that's not important in the middle of the ones that are important, like many other tools do in the market. So basically, we help you to find the vulnerability and not just show them. And then you can click on any of them. For example, I can click here in this one. So basically what we are seeing here is you didn't initialize the state variable, which should be good for this case here. And what Honey is saying that is important is we are too different from many others because we are fast to do this while you're coding. So for example, suppose I solve this problem, okay? Here you go. So the tool just detected it, you solve the problem. And suppose you just create a problem in real time. So that's it. In 2 seconds, sometimes 1 second, depending on the context, you have the answer. So you don't need to deploy your code. You just have the answer as you code. And also, if you go to the problems tab here, you can see all the vulnerabilities here running by file. You can filter them, of course, like any other tool you could do. Basically, just put like a state variable. Olympix, because what's the problem here? The problem is currently we have many other problems in this tab. So at least now you can filter by what is from Olympix. But basically, some of these vulnerabilities, they have an article like this one here. Our goal is to this year, the beginning of the year, to have all the tech tools with articles to explain to the users how it works. But basically, if you want, you only need to click here, and then instead of going to the vulnerability, you go to a full article showing how the vulnerability works, how to fix the vulnerability, and everything about the vulnerability, when it's happened, real case when it's happened, etc. And that's it. You can see many problems here everywhere that needs to fix it.
So just to, again, tack onto what Moa said with his beautiful demo is really when we look at the responsibility that Solidity developers have, they're facing a much larger and exponentially bigger attack surface than we've ever seen historically. They have practically immutable code. It's very hard to change your source code when you're writing in Solidity. It's not the same as Web 2 when we patch, redeploy, patch, redeploy. You have transparent nature of the ecosystem, which means you can really extract anything at a byte or source code level. So everything you write really needs to be taken into account, every single line of code. And the third reason is direct access to liquidity. When you're writing, let's say, a protocol, you could be locking 80 million in there, if you do well, right? And if someone can see in your code, hey, I see your source code and I see there's a reentry, they can exploit that directly, which is why over 16 billion has been exploited in the space. And the reason that this hasn't stopped and the exploits have gotten larger and larger and larger is because the developers don't have the right tools. And the first step is giving them the right tools that help them own the proactive security side. Because right now in the ecosystem, the only way to really approach security is relying on a third-party audit. And a quick fun fact is 90% of exploit contracts were audited. So an audit is not a stamp of security. It's really on the organizations in this ecosystem to own security from the start. So this static analyzer, a free tool that Moa and the team have spent months and months building out, is absolutely incredible. And just another fun fact, benchmarks best on market, 20% better than anything open source, any tool out there. So if you're writing in Solidity, there's absolutely no doubt it is responsible and you need to be using our tool. On top of that, you should be using other tools. I think, Zach, is your mic working now? His mic still might be broken, so I can just voice over. Zach is really leading the innovation on the new tooling front for us. And we're also building out fuzz and variant testing on automated unit tests, which is the next part of the proactive stack. While Moa and Alex, the other half of our team, are working heads down to make us not just 20% better, but 30%, 40% better, because we believe that we have it as our responsibility to give the best tools possible. And so our team's really heads down on that. And I do recommend you get a taste of our free tool, which I think we're gonna hop off or let you just take control and you'll go through that demo and hack away. But you'll see how incredible this tool, but this is just the start. This is the first lick. You can really reach out to us, and for select developers and teams, we are going to help them onboard onto our new tools, which are, in private alpha, super tight knit right now, but they are really transforming the way the ecosystem and stack works.
Well, that is like I'm blown away. This is exactly like this ticks off so many boxes that I've loved and been wanting to see so much of the community. I honestly feel like if there was more companies and organizations and just developers like like you guys at Olympix, there'd be a lot different opinions now, even with the whole like implosions of FTX and stuff out there. This is the type of stuff I've been wanting to see in the space. So I will let our chat know that if you have any questions, please say them in chat while I have everyone here and I'll relay your question. A lot of people like to also lurk and just watch me stumble and ask dumb questions. So if you are a lurker, I say keep lurking and keep learning. And with that, I want to ask a couple of questions. So first of all, How did I know it sounds like a generic question, but how did all of you with your different backgrounds, like how did Olympix kind of got together? Was there sort of like asking around and finding out everyone sort of had this shared interest of the lack of security in the space, or like how did this kind of whole thing got together in the simplest way possible?
I think this is actually is a good question for Honey, but I can at least say a bit about me. Um, actually, uh, even working for with the coding for 20 years, it's not easy at all when to find a company where you really can build things from scratch. Because, for example, um, usually all the tools in the market for Web3, they use SOSI, which is the compiler. Um, but for doing this fast, because uh, one of I will not say the names, but there is a very popular tool. They take like a minute to run, and it was like a come on, 1 minute to run. You're an engineer. We want things to be fast. So how to make this run in 2 seconds? And then the answer was, okay, we need to build our own compiler. So how many companies do you know that you can join the company and build things from scratch and build really complex stuffs? So this is you don't need to be aligned about all the amazing stuff because we are aligned, but only the fact of you being capable of not spending your day just building stock management systems, web pages, is already something really good for engineers. So when Honey showed me the complexity and how the hiring interview was, then this is what caught my heart to work on this project forever. That's it for me, at least.
Oh, Moa. So I'll just again tack off Moa, but we're really fortunate. Our team is absolute killers. Everyone came from somewhere different, has such a different background. We're really lucky that many people on our team have 20 plus years experience and in such different sectors, full stack, statistics, economic risk modeling, software engineering, obviously protocol building on the Solidity side. And then we also just have a ton of smart creatives. So it creates this energy where we're all really personally incentivized and motivated personally to build, especially when we see the impact and the problem that we get to solve every day. But I guess the answer is everyone came from different places, but we're all aligned on the same mission, which is a really big thing to have. And we're really grateful to have each other. We have a sick team.
That diversification with the amount of experience is one of the things that jumped out to me about your organization, along with the fact that I'm just happy to see. I hate that this is rare in the community. An organization that is not only tackling a real tangible root problem, but is going at it at a multi-directional like engineer mindset. Even if you're not an engineer, just that mindset of like, okay, here's a real thing. What are people actually encountering, in the issue with pipeline development? How can we do stuff on our end and that whole thing? This will be the last sort of administration question, and I'll get into some quick good stuff. But again, congratulations for launching this tool. How was the gestation period of developing this whole tool? Like, how long did it last? Were there any hiccups or interesting things you found along the way while developing this?
Oh, geez, I wish Zach's mic worked. But I could just tell Moa a little bit before Moa.
I'll officially say, Zach, if you type stuff when they're done speaking, I will read whatever you type.
So Zach actually built our first version that we scaled to 100 users. Once we hit 50 users, it was just breaking left and right. We were trying to build as fast as we could, but it was just the two of us. And so then we quickly scaled the team. Again, for each person who joined our team, we went through about 200, probably more than 200 candidates, but 200 interviews. So past people who passed the screening of a resume, it was a very competitive process. So it took us a while. So once we had hit about 100 users on our MVP, we were very lucky that Moa and Alex joined, and we've scaled that 12% market share, meaning 12% of active Solidity developers are actually using our tool. We hope to get that up to 100 in a matter of time, but our tool today looks very different. And Moa started to tell you a bit about the compiler they built for speed, the detectors they're building for precision, but I'll just turn it over to him for the rest of that.
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, Zach and Honey, they were trying to do the MVP to test the idea and it worked. So they saw, wow, it's working. So they started to hire people that were focused on things they believe that should be important in the tool. So Zach also could focus on other stuffs that are really important for us. And then, for example, the engineer that's pair programming with me every day is a guy from economics and also master in science, but he is from economics. So we have a different background. And the first thing we did was build this compiler, because what's the compiler? The compiler, you have the part that reads the code, understand the code, and then you have the other part which is doing something with the thing you just got. So like generating machine code. And the thing is, we don't need to generate the machine code. We just need to understand deeply how your code works. So for this section, we coded something, I think it was in like a quarter, 3 months. Coding, of course, 3 months, not like a normal person. We coded like 12 hours every day because we were so engaged with this. We love the idea. It's because it's just a game. If you love engineering, come on, it's like playing PS5, you want to code this all the time. So Zach is another guy. He's working in a different product. He's coding all the time. I'm not sure if he sleeps, but he works all the time as well. Honey also works all the time. So this is a culture, but not a culture of pressure. It's just a culture of we really love what you do. So this is why we can speed up the process. And we are, man, I think we are in 10 months working in this new product. I mean, in this project after I joined the company, and we have almost 2,000 commits in the GitHub. So only about one single repository, because we have a lot of them. So basically that's it. I think it took like 3 months to build the minimum of the compiler to analyze the code. Then we took more full month probably, to build the Visual VS Code extension, and then more time only to have the MVP coded again from scratch. After doing this, then we take many other months doing more advanced analysis where things that are really complex. For example, right now we are coding on very, very, very advanced stuffs to introduce soon assembly analysis. And this is kind of thing that you can code in like 2 months, 1 month. It depends on our priority. So we are always analyzing what the user does, and then we try to code as much as we can to deliver this. But basically everything is about quarters,
That's awesome. I love the in-depth answer to that. And I quickly checked during the stream if Zach typed anything. I think Zach is right now just kind of like, staring in there, being like the boss of everything. Like, yep, they're talking good things about me. This is what I hired them for. Good work. But I do want to say before I get into my next question that our group at DCG 201, the way DEF CON groups are named is the numbers are the area codes. So we are obviously from North New Jersey, and we're the only New Jersey group. And fun fact, because I was looking up, and we are going to look at, I have the GitHub with some of the test code up there and all of that. But it seems that the platform was primarily developed in Python with JavaScript testing. Based after a research thing that I heard about from the folks over at Princeton. And for those of you who don't know, watching the live stream, Princeton is in New Jersey. And so that's kind of a weird, fun link of like, oh, it's like 6 degrees away from my armpit of a state. So the real deep question, I'm going to kind of rapid fire these, is I'm really impressed with the tool. One of the things we're going to look into is that in addition to VS Codium, you can also run this in action testing on GitHub, as well as there's apparently a terminal version, which is which I have loaded. It's going to be interesting experimenting after this. Are there any other compiler platforms, whether it's software or virtual ones like GitLab, for example, that you are looking forward to potentially bringing this to next?
Okay, so great question. One thing is it was Python and JavaScript in the past because this is the best technology to run fast stuffs and test ideas.
Right.
But we had to do this, like I told you, running 2 seconds. So Python, it's an amazing language, but
slow as hell.
Yes. So it wasn't easy to make this fast because mainly, I mean, everything you can do, like but Python doesn't have real threads. But you can do it using this library, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to create a Megazord here for Power Rangers. I just want to code something. So our current project is basically C# from scratch, running on Linux. This is the secret. We compile everything.
That makes sense, because I used to make video games years ago, and the reason why most of the video game industry is still using C variants as their main core of their code is for the leverage of speed. So that tracks.
Yeah. And C#, you can make this very close to C and C++, or you can make them way far away. So it depends on where you are. If the routine requires too much processing, then you can go in depth in the code and make this very powerful. So this is why we chose this technology. Your second item you were asking was about the compatibility with other tools. Actually, GitHub Actions used behind the scene is what we call Olympix CLI. So because the thing is, it wouldn't be maintainable if you have a tool like Olympix being rewritten and every different technology like GitHub and others. So what it is, we created a very solid code in C# that would be capable of finding vulnerabilities. And then we created the version that would be like a server, web server, that works with the VS Code. But instead of only having this web server, we also have the CLI. The CLI also uses the same base code. And then this guy is the guy that runs behind the scenes of the GitHub Actions. So if you have GitLab, if you have Jenkins, if you have Azure DevOps, if you have any other of these companies on your project, you can use our services because you can integrate using Olympix CLI.
Awesome. That's really exciting to hear.
That we have GitHub Actions, GitHub CLI. We have over 47 organizations working with us and integrating with us in one way or another.
That's really awesome. Just for the interest of time, because again, my computer started late and stuff, I'm going to do about 3 more questions that will hopefully be good fire, because I don't want to keep you guys here forever. and looking at the numbers, I'm actually really happy with them so far, looking at the streams. So my next question is, because maybe I was dumb and I didn't hear this part, but how does your platform rank on the severity and the attention for the different errors that it finds, and what was it like training your ML or your LLM in order to figure out what would be a useful priority to developers?
Actually, this is the most complex question maybe so far.
You're welcome.
Because...
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, mainly because when we talk about severities and confidence, because it's also included, it's so subjective, right? I mean, how do we measure these things? So we have these two concepts, which one is severity. I mean, how much damage that vulnerability could cause on your code, and the other is the confidence, which is how much sure we are, how much confident we are about we found that vulnerability. Why? Because sometimes it's tricky to understand what the engineer is doing. So we have this confidence attribute. And basically what you do is analyzing the market itself, how much money was taken from the hackers, uh, how dangerous is that thing for you, So this is how we can know the severity. And the confidence is, like I told you, is how tricky is this? I mean, for example, nobody should use, I don't know, message value inside the loop. This, for sure, don't do this. This is not a good idea. So we are high confidence. But sometimes the thing is not so clear, so low confidence. This is why, by the way, let me try to share my screen again. No, I take too much time from this meeting if I try to do this. But on the demo I was showing you, I don't know if you saw, but the vulnerabilities had like circles.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the circles. Sometimes the circle is full. Sometimes the circle is not full. It's like by the half. So when it's by half, means we don't have too much confidence about that. And when it's full, means we have a lot of confidence about this problem. So if you see like three reds, like three red items, they are all full. Means we are really sure. We are really sure about the problem, and it's really dangerous. So please take a look at this. And this is nice because other tools we saw in the market, they just report a lot of data, and then you need to organize yourself. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's good, but I need to develop a software to understand your software, and this is not so simple. So this is what we try to do, try to organize this in circles. So if you have 3 circles, means high severity. If you have 2 circles, meaning medium. If you have 1 circle, means low severity. And if the circle is full, means total confidence high. If it's like half, like a medium confidence. If it's like 25%, it's like low confidence.
Yeah.
So
Our LLM is about 70 billion parameters. We've scraped audit data. It's been a time and a half to build, and it really ensures that across all tools, our results are as accurate and as top of line as can be. So a lot of stuff that the LLM that we're focused on utilizing the LLM for nowadays is, we've gone one step past the static analysis, because as you know, static analysis is just the first step in the proactive stack. There's also fuzzing and variant testing, writing your unit tests as well, which is what, again, I wish Zach's mic worked, but Zach is heads down building, and we have on
It's
a couple.
working now.
I was just about to ask that. Yay! Yay for technology. Warning, there's a thing that we say at HackerCons, which is that we're all elite hacker, genius programmer, mathematicians, so of course none of the technology works. So it's always great when something finally works. Thank you, Zach.
that can tell you a bit about the products.
Awesome. And then I think I have like one more semi-technical thing, one business thing, and then if it's too long, we can wrap this up. So, hi, Zach.
Hey, how you doing? This new stuff that we're very excited about is people pay a lot for audits. How much of that can we do with AI? And a lot of that is mastery of specific tools. And a lot of it is kind of predictable, especially across different projects. But people just aren't really educated enough to use the tools properly. Think like formal verification tools comes to mind, something like that. So if you think about having a tool to help you use those tools, an AI tool to help you use those tools that the auditors are using and then charging you for, that's kind of, I think, a way to think of the gist of what we're working on.
Yeah, one of the things that I was really impressed of when I spoke with you guys at the launch party you had with the Magna people is that again, I'm used to hearing everyone's going into the buzz space since ChatGPT took off with AI, and even though they're busy right now, I actually have a good friend that works at a different company just for LLMs, and one of the biggest issues with all this AI stuff is sort of, again, kind of like what you guys are doing, like what's the actual priority for use cases. And so I was really impressed when I saw the tool you made when it was advertised, that it was like, wow, this is actually a piece of AI where it makes sense to use this, why you would use this, and the usefulness of it, instead of just general like dumb market stuff and foo-foo stuff. It's like, okay, like either you're given like a chunk of data that you have no idea to parse, or you just don't have a roadmap, and this thing gives you a roadmap to do. So it was impressive. Speaking of roadmaps, the other thing I'm impressed with, especially the VS Codium side, is the ingeniousness of the user interface, that it's not just, again, just a spitballing code or has 8 million knobs. Everything's color coded, visual oriented, and especially in like a very technical environment, that it's very useful. I like to call it when I do design, like the lights on your dashboard and how important that is. How much focus, or was it an active focus of that sort of understandable interface when it comes to parsing the data? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand perfectly your question.
Oh yeah, no, I'll try to sum it because sometimes I ramble. About that your tool's has very good user interface. It's well laid out, clickable. Was there any like focus on, we need to make this as usable and understandable as possible? Was there any sort of struggles or design theory with all of that? You mentioned the circles earlier.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Well, actually, this is all about trying to code every quarter something better. So the first version we had in the very beginning, when Zach and Hani were doing the MVP, it was just one single button. Or the button's on, or the button's off, you know? And then it was working. That's the point. And then after we work at more than this, then okay, now we need to try to show the list of items. So then we were showing the list of items, and then we were like, we were using the tool, and then we were, Jesus, this is a chaos. We are seeing like 1,000 results at the same time. So come on, this is not good for us. See, if it's not good for us, it's not good for the engineers or who are using this. So then we stop and okay, let's take some time using Figma here. And then we start to draw the interface and drawing, and then, okay, something is not nice in the way we are showing the severity. So let's try to create something that a color blindness guy could understand. And then we thought about the shape. And this is how we do. We improve the code that some user, we always say that, I don't know, I didn't like this. And this is how we improve actually. So sometimes the change is too big, and then we need to draw this using graphic interface. tools like Figma is one of the tools, and the other one that we really like is Affinity Designer. It's like Adobe Illustrator, but runs fast on Mac. And then we use these tools, and we collect feedback all the time. So every month we have a lot of feedback from people saying that, hey man, it's so confusing. And sometimes we are using the tool and we think, come on, this is not easy at all. And some ideas of this extension right now, that some ideas that I thought when we implemented that was genius, now I can see they are terrible. And because people are getting confused. So we probably will redesign this again and again, and we still do this. So that's it. We have a tool like Figma, and we have a lot of opinions from our users. And this is how.
I don't want to drag
It's not
out this, but do you have any just real quick? Do you have any specific one of that where you thought, oh, this is our like game plan in order to make this easy, and then it turned out to be the exact opposite?
Yeah. Do you know the how can I say it? The VS Code has section for settings.
Right.
Right? There's no, but the VS Code itself has a section for settings. And then we had the settings in the sidebar. And then we thought, okay, I think it will be much easier and better for the user if the settings of our tools is right there in the settings of the VS Code. And we believe that this would be great. Actually, nobody understood this. We didn't have one single good feedback about this. Everybody was so confused about, hey, how can I disable this detector? Come on, help me. And then we were like, why the guy doesn't go to the settings of the VS Code? And then we were like, okay, it seems people don't know that section from the VS Code. So let's move back and create an interface for the user. So
I will say VS Codium, the settings section looks like radio instructions, so like I would have avoided that just because it's a giant minefield. So I know their pain. I was talking about. I didn't mean to cut you off, Shania. What were you going to follow up with that?
No, I think I was just tacking on to what Zach and Moa were saying, but we really do have a culture of continuous iteration and improvement, and we stay so close to the user at every step that we're changing constantly. And Moa and Zach are very humble, but people were still loving this tool and saying it's better than anything on market, even when we thought, oh, well, this interface isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. Of course, but like it's better than anything on market. So if we just we're the hardest on ourselves based on the user feedback. So it really keeps us ahead of the game. And then I just want to highlight on the tools that Zach is building on the, automated unit testing, invariant fuzzing, all of that side that automates a good portion of what auditors are right now owning that we want to push over to the developer. So the auditors first have the time and space to find things more novel. So we can change that stat that 90% of exploited contracts are audited, right? We want that to be a lot lower, but also so developers have more power and ownership. And something interesting that's come up is not just in the Web3 ecosystem, but some of our teams that are using our tool are asking us, can you build these other more advanced tools for us for our Web2 stack? So the demand really
never ends.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I think what we're building is very novel. So them seeing it for the first time and like just believe that it works, and it works in such a elaborate and immense attack surface. They're like, wow, can you make this work in like Web2 for us? So it's really great. The people who are security oriented and understand those responsibilities are taking great to the feedback and the tools.
Just want to quickly say that whole push of that you're very hard on yourself, but you still have the encouragement to keep on going is so much the hacker mentality that's in my field and in my community. And I also, one of the things I explain to other people, what I like so much about crypto and Web3 overall is that it's some of the most encouraging people. Like when I do this show, I'm always afraid that like, oh, I'm going to get these cease and desist letters, and it's the exact opposite that happens. They're very grateful that I covered it and asking about bugs and if I can like be paid to audit their, like it's just so good, especially dealing with like the old corporations like Microsoft and Oracle that want to like stamp little guys like you out and snipe hackers from like halfway around the world. It's very much appreciated. So last two questions, just because I want to not keep you guys here because I've already screwed up enough. One of the things I'm going to do, and I will post the link later on in the stream, is again, congratulations for launching this product. You guys are in an open beta right now, hence why I've been able to test things out. It's been going great so far. How's been the feedback that you received so far, and has any of that changed any of the trajectory of where you were initially going with this product before the beta?
Wow, we received so many feedback. I think um, some of the feedbacks they are like abstract for us as well. Because there's some guys they just don't like your product, but they contribute and they just keep in doing this, depending of what you do. And the funny thing is how to help them anyway, you know. So, for example, we had the two, and then we had a guy, a very specific guy that I not, of course, say the name, but the guy said, I prefer the other two. And just like, okay, but why? You know, why? Just to help help me, give me some idea. And then because of the feedback from the other guys, we built a new interface, and then we showed this guy again, and then this guy told us, okay, I like the interface, I prefer the other two. So it was okay, okay, so give me some ideas. So some guys are harder to try to make them happy. But some of them, they are really good. They are really amazing. Like they say, the problem is I'm not finding the things I want, because every time I run, these things show before the other things and show up before the other things, and it's not clear for me. So I really get confused all the time. So some of them, they are very detailed. They just give us very detailed feedback. These feedbacks are really good, because then we see how can we change something. And sometimes it's also hard because one user has the opinion which is fully the opposite of the other guy. So then this is something that one of the days, because we have frequent meetings and Honey teach us how to think of as guys in a startup, you know. So she.
And speaking of Shadi, I've seen you like jumping up and down like the happy cat meme. I wanted to hear what you have to, not to cut you off or anything, but I want to hear what she has to say, since you're like boss lady here. You look so excited. So excited.
I just wanted to chime in. Yes, we do get mixed feedback. All feedback is good feedback. Sometimes people are confused on settings, and that was their feedback. They're like, well, this keeps showing up. We're like, you can just turn off that setting. I think that's what Moa is also talking about. And then sometimes people like think of detectors. They're like, oh, well, this isn't really a vulnerability. We're like, okay, so turn off this setting if you don't think this is a vulnerability, but here's an exploit that happened because of this, right? So there's that kind of, that's always going to exist in the space. And it's just our job to report where there's been exploits or whether there's a potential path to exploit. And the second piece is we have over 1 billion in TVL between protocols that use us. So like the feedback has been net great and net positive, and we keep bringing on big teams like Liquidity, like Euler, you know, across the ecosystem, Gauntlet, you know, not joke names, Block Damon. It's only growing. So the big teams that are security focused and understand that are doing well and are responding really well.
Anything you want to add to that, Zach?
Oops, Zach.
Yeah, I would just add that user feedback is really just what drives everything. We iterate so quickly in all our products. Whenever anything is, when a user says something, we don't understand it, we like to do this exercise where we kind of like go deep into the why. So why are they saying this? Well, because of this. Why are they saying that? Because, and there's and it allows us to kind of uncover things, and we do it until it makes sense to us, until like we ask the question why until, okay, this is the stopping point. We need to fix this.
Yeah.
And that kind of allows us to iterate like on a weekly basis, not on a monthly basis. So like every time we push, it's just, there's things that it's always because of what users have said this week.
That's really freaking awesome.
There's a very interesting example that we could share, which is like I told you, the guys when they have different opinions and both are right, but depending on the context. And this is very complex actually to deal with. But then we start to think, and this is something that came from Honey in one of the meetings. That is like and what happened if you really understand the project of the user, and then depending on the project, depending on the user, we define the settings in a different way. So this changed the code itself, this idea, because we started to think like, okay, now we need to think in a way of getting metadata about the project. Is this guy using Foundry? I mean, is this guy using ERC? Is this guy using whatever? We need to know, because if we know this, we know the guy is doing this because he really wants to do this because of the framework he is using is guiding him to do this. So let's avoid creating some noise for something that he will not fix, So this is a very specific situation when feedbacks come in a very different way from different users. We can make the tool even more smart to solve the problem for each user. This is something we're going to implement soon.
Right. And so this is like this has gone like even way better than what I thought it was going to be at, even with my screw ups. So I'm really excited. So before I ask the last question, I just want to let people, because if you see me on the stream checking like my phone and stuff, it's because I'm getting a bunch of social media messages of people watching right now, and they're all like, "This is like really intent." I'm like watching eating popcorn, and that's the reason why like the chat's frozen, because everyone is so intent to listening to what all three of you have to say. So as I ask this last question, I just want to let chat know that if one of you decide to become unshy, especially I see you out there, Zoe. Zoe's an amazing person that physically comes to our meetings. This will be your last time to ask this before I end the interview, take a break, and then we're going to actually, I have a bunch of smart contracts that are broken on purpose that we're going to use the tools in all the different ways to analyze it. So my last question is kind of a base one, which is basically the stuff you guys have been building are amazing. This is such like a Fortune 500 question. What is the next immediate steps for Olympix, including a potential thing that you wanted to apparently announce? I don't know if you wanted to announce it on here or hype that's coming up, but what's next for all of you? It's because it's been fantastic so far.
I think Zach will take it away. We kind of told you guys already about the things in private alpha, the tools, but Zach can maybe
Sorry, I'm
talk
trying to be
on
the
it a
hype
bit more.
man here. Hype man here.
Yeah, you are. These tools are world class, meaning devs see it and they look at it and they say, how did you do it? The smartest devs in the space, the people who build tools in the space, they're like, we tried to do this. How did you do this? And Zach's the genius behind it, so I'll let him really take the mic.
Sharing just results is okay. I'm assuming, right? Because we don't really share like how we get the results. But basically, we can generate tests that actually cover code, arbitrarily complex and sizable code. So we're at the point where for most of our customers, we can basically spit out a test contract that actually covers 60% or more of the subject contracts. Which, I mean, anybody who has used AI tooling before will know that if you go to ChatGPT or you go to Copilot or something, they're never going to actually give you like correct test code that covers your code out of the box.
So if I'm guessing this correctly, so you're moving on from simply just pointing out errors in it to more of a concrete map of like, here's what you're trying to build. This is probably the blueprint with how to build it, because that's a huge ass next step, like a super undertaking that I'm already getting like delightful headaches just thinking about it in terms of the back end and retraining the tools and maybe even having to bring in a different type of LLM that's trained to work with the current one in order to get that off the ground. You guys are wizards.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could talk a bit more about how we do it, but the results are really what it's all about, and the results are very exciting.
Well, so far I've seen fantastic results just on my end. This has been absolutely fantastic. Even though I just want the audience out there, we're going to end the interview portion now in a couple of seconds. That we are going to continue with the show, just me.
About these tools.
Sure,
The
yeah.
next
Sure,
piece of
yeah.
the proactive stack. So like it's not just the unit test, it's then invariant tests and fuzz tests. It's the complete stack of proactive security. So now before the audit, you have a whole toolkit. Before, all you had was some shit open source that you don't know if it works, you don't know who's contributing. It's really annoying to use. Like we just started with the static analyzer. This is just like a teaser. Building is really a full proactive stack that pushes left, that gives the developers superpowers.
Honestly, this is what I was hoping and thought for, which is I was thinking like, wow, if Olympix keeps going the way that they're going at, they're going to eventually be like the Microsoft tool suite or the Google tool suite of like most of like the Web 3.0 and Web 3 blockchain world out there. Because like, I don't like cow chickens before they hatch, but like, if this is just you guys just kicking this thing out once out of nowhere, I'm so excited to see where you're going for next. So I just want to again let everyone know that this episode will go on, even though we are in the interview portion, because these fine folks, unlike me, they have lives. They have already put up with particularly the Windows Update Manager that's been taking everything back. But I just wanted to thank everyone at Olympix for doing this opportunity for amazing interview. I am hoping that in the next couple of months, when we all have free time, to drag you in some of the other interesting security-related projects that I'd love to have you guys on for, and the opinions on representing yourselves and your expertise. And before I end the interview, is there any sort of information to either find you guys, what you each individually do, or anything you want to shout out before I end this portion of the stream?
You can just email us at khani@olympix.ai or moasir@olympix.ai or zach@olympix.ai with any questions. And only more tools to come. And thank you so much for having us.
I very much look forward to test those tools, especially with my fellow hackers, because I'm definitely going to mention you guys in the future community stuff. So I'm going to end it here again. To everyone in the chat, thank you so much for this. And we're going to continue on, and good luck with Olympix in the future, because you'll both need it, but you guys are geniuses. So I think you kind of have it in the bag here. So I'm going to end the stream now. Peace, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm just going to put it in. Go back to face mode. So I have my other Sorry, that was just me doing something. Okay, so yeah, that was an amazing interview. That was what Olympix was. In fact, you're gonna pop over to the website here, because most of the stuff that I normally front load the episode with, we're gonna do in a moment. If you haven't been noticed, I've been hydrating this entire time, so I really need to hit the can. I need to mentally focus, and so we're gonna go on a short break. You're gonna listen to some music for about 3-5 minutes max, and then we're going to look more at Olympix. We're going to test some smart contracts. We're going to try the client version. We're going to try all sorts of things, and conclude this very interesting real use case for AI as a security tool measure that's not absolute BS. So enjoy the music. I'll see you folks in a bit. bit longer than I originally planned on. Just give it about 2 to 3 more minutes and we will be back. Not much left of the episode, but you'll be in for a treat. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, we're about to get back on here. Holy frickin' hell. Holy heck. Stop the music. I'm just gonna kill this. There we go. Holy hell. Alright, let's put back my lovely face. Oh man. Sorry about that. Seems that today's episode is just about like endless delays. It's endless delays. You know, because why not? Oh, I forgot my drink. I'll be back. Also, my desktop audio. Here we go. Turn this off. I'll be right back, everybody. There's no need to go on break. Let's go out and grab this. That's kind of the theme of this episode is I keep thinking things are going to happen sooner and more easier than what they are. And then they end up being more complicated than I thought of. That's some good hydration there for my lonely butt. So, hi, welcome back to the program. I'm going to do my more proper introduction. Hi, my name is Sidepocket. I'm one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201. We are one of the many computer hacker groups under the DEF CON Groups banner that exists across the United States and around the world. In fact, our name, the 201, stands for the area code, which is we are from New Jersey. Yes, we are the New Jersey group, and currently we're the only New Jersey group, although I hope that changes the next couple of years because I'd love to have more fun people in the state. And if you want to know more about us while we still attempt to get our website back online, there's the link to our blog. We also have a Right As blog, so you can see stuff on tour, in which you can check that out at this link, which also has all of our different social medias. We're still on Twitter/X because I'm not calling it X because fucking Elon Musk. We're also on hostux.social for Mastodon. We're recently just joined Blue Sky. We're on Minds.com, Instagram, GitHub, which we're going to check in a moment. All of that sort of stuff, as well as our different streams, in which I want to let you guys know that if you liked that interview that we just had and all the stuff that you've seen, you can go and watch us. You can go follow, subscribe completely for us for free on Twitch, YouTube, PeerTube, Odyssey, and Kick. If you do follow us on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, we get notifications that you have and we'll cheer you on. If you donate some of the Odyssey tokens, we get notifications for that. In PeerTube, we don't get any notifications, but you guys want to stay anonymous, which is perfectly great, which is why also in that link tree, not only do we have multiple privacy front ends for some of our stuff, so you don't have to fork over unnecessary information, but we also have the ability to watch this on Tor and through I2P, for those of you who want to remain anonymous. In addition to that, we're going to get into something else that will make me cheer you on the entire episode. So there we go. And last but not least, if you want to chat with us, I'm not on it all the time, but we are going to start using it a lot more, particularly in March. Here's a link to our Discord. Wow, good stuff in here. So what is this live stream all about? Well, I have multiple shows here on the DCG21 channel, and let me move a bit closer here. And one of them is called Crypto Barons. And so this is the show where we look at blockchain technologies as the actual technologies, just like what we just did with the interview. You know, there are some, like, sometimes we look at finance stuff, sometimes we look at community stuff if it's relevant, but mainly what we're doing is we love looking at code. If you're open source, which you should be if you're in this space and just in programming or engineering anywhere, we check the GitHub repos or GitLab repos and look at all the code. If there's white papers, we read them. We try to do the math in those white papers. We try to test nets and break things and all sorts of stuff. That's what this show is about. And so after that amazing interview with the people at Olympix, which has made an amazing AI tool that people who program in smart contracts in the space can essentially have the AI points out bad code and points out vulnerabilities in their code as they start editing their code, and that way you have a more hardened smart contract or piece of code that gets shipped out there instead of it shipping with a ton of bugs and waiting for, you know, a giant hack that makes you end up on Web3 is great in order to fix those minor bugs. They made this amazing tool, and we're going to take a more personal look at it now that the amazing interview is over. So now we're going to go into desktop mode, and I already know one thing that's not going to work properly, but let's just hope everything else works. So here we are. So as I said, this is our Medium blog, as you can see here. In addition, which you probably noticed with the sign behind me here, I want to thank the fine folks at Hack Manhattan for allowing me to host this live stream for the past couple of months and for the foreseeable future. I became a member of the space back in October, just in time for the amazing return of the Maker Faire, now located at Coney Island. And Hack Manhattan has been something that's been around. I remember when they were at the 14th Street location in Manhattan, but now they are now at 37th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues. If you ever wanted to come by here, if you're from Jersey like me, you take the PATH train or you get to the PATH train. Any way it connects in New Jersey, go straight to the last stop, 33rd Street stop on the PATH train, and then you walk up 37, take the right, and you're there. In addition, similar station stops, if you use any of the orange or yellow lines in that area, which is 34th Street, same location as the PATH. And of course, there's multiple subway stations in the beginning to mid 30s and the 40s that you can also stop off at and walk down to the space. I particularly want to mention this because every Tuesday and Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m., there is an open house. So normally to use the space, you have to become a member like I do. You get a key card that sometimes works, and you go in, you use the lab anytime you want. But if you're interested, even if you don't plan to join, although you should join because, again, you know, podcasting is one of the things I do here, never mind all the amazing power tools and sewing and brewing alcohol and musical instruments and all sorts of crazy things that is made here. That if you want to check even the space out, just, you know, to hang out with a bunch of cool makers and hackers, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. until technically 9, but it usually goes on longer than that. The space is open for anyone who comes in to check it out. And if you want to become a member, if you show up to 3 of those, you get a little card. We stamp it 3 times. You can then be like, hey, I've been here over 3 times. I'd like to be a member. There's a whole voting and debate process. And then, ta-da, you'll probably become a member if you're not an asshole, which begs the question of how the hell did I become a member here? But in addition to that, if you want a bit more of incentive to come out to the open houses, every second and fourth Tuesday open house, I have that other show, Master of Unlocking, where I teach lock picking on live stream. I do this in person there. So you get to learn locks just like on the show, but firsthand with me in person with real tangible equipment that you can use. So that will be next Tuesday. The dates for that will be the 13th. And the 27th will be the open houses where you get to learn lock picking. But sometimes I'm also just there on around Tuesday or Thursday during the open house at 7 p.m. So if you want to come out to all those, oh crap, I just missed it. But apparently someone just followed us on here. I'm sorry, I missed your thing. I'm going to look it up in near the end of the episode. But thank you for following us there. Don't forget to support the doctors. Yes, I'm going to get there. And by the way, just to get this out of the way, because I'll mention it at the end of the episode, I had to strategically delay this, but as of now, if I remember correctly, the 18th, so Sunday on the 18th will be the next Master of Unlocking, It's probably going to be the only Master of Unlocking for February because February is such a short month. But that's when we're going to do the Lockpicking Lawyer drinking game. And that's when one of the things I'm going to be doing during that game is announcing the winners for the Lockpick cards. So I know, Zeph, you've been waiting very patiently for them, but trust me, that's when the winners gets announced. The next following day, on the Monday on the 19th, I mail them out, and you should be getting those between the 24th and the first week of March. So that's going to happen. Do not worry about that. It's been a while, but just like the people, I don't know, everything just likes to get in my way of delaying me for stuff. But as Zeph mentioned in chat, again, we got delayed. So normally I would have brought this up in the beginning, but this episode, like all the episodes I'm going to be doing until April 1st, until April Fools, is going to be in support of Doctors Without Borders. We are doing a whole initiative we made called Hackers for Charity, where regardless of the conflict of how you feel with Israel, Gaza, and Palestine, this is a conflict where everything's fucked and a ton of people are dying, especially women and children. Especially, want to mention, to be fair, a bunch of Palestinians are sick, wounded, and a bunch of Israeli people are sick, wounded, and dead. There's a fuck ton more of Palestinians, and hell, even people visiting from other countries who are caught in the crossfire of this because Hamas is a terrorist organization and the Israel Defense Force is like, challenge accepted. How can we be worse than America and Russia combined? So just, our whole thing is no matter your background, the Doctors Without Borders are volunteer doctors who use their time and pure donation money because they're broke kind of like us, in order to go and deal with crises, whether it's war zones, natural disasters like some of the hurricanes we've had in the past in the United States and stuff around the world. And right now they're very much focusing on the conflict in Gaza because it's a giant cesspool of death outside of the Ukrainian conflict and Oklahoma. So yeah, that's and the Texas border, but they're the Lone Star State. They don't count. I have relatives there. I'm making a semi-joke about that. But that's the situation. So they entirely run on volunteer stuff. So if you want to donate, I just posted the Tiltify link in the chat. Tiltify is what we use when we do fundraisers like this. They've been doing this for many, many years for streamers or third-party company, meaning when you donate your value, that they're handling all the money. I don't touch any of the money. Hell, even if we don't meet our $200 goal by April of just us, all the money that's currently been raised and will be raised will still go to Doctors Without Borders. And I can't even cancel out of that if I wanted to, which I don't. Just saying, it's completely out of our hands. So you don't have to worry about like hackers playing with your money or whatever. You can donate in multiple ways. You can donate with fiat currency using your credit card or PayPal's of many different currencies. And because we are crypto barons, if you don't have a lot of money, but you have a ton of crypto, or you're worried about like sending fiat money and bank account info, don't worry. As you can see here, the awesome folks at the Giving Block also partner with Tiltify, and they can take your crypto, whether it's the big ones like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Doge, things like that, or any of the million alt and shitcoins out there, and convert that into fiat for these charity organizations to get. So whether you're donating crypto or fiat, you have no excuse in order to donate. And again, could you donate $51 and knock current leaderboard Murph off his top donation high horse banner? Because at the end of this, we're going to read all the names that donate and mention who the top donor is. Free for you to do so. But most of the ways we've reached our donation goals in the past is that little numbers add up. As we know with like DDoS attack, 1 to 3 computers complaining doesn't seem like a lot, but if you have like 3 computers in every single state in the United States all complaining at the same time, it causes devastation across the entire network. Or to use an old folks saying, a little rain won't hurt you, but a lot will kill you. So just simply donating like I did $1 or $5 or $3, $10, just any amount, no matter how obscure or small, goes a long, long way. And every time we've gone not only meet our goal, but surpass our goal by a lot, it's all those little donations adding up. So I'll be mentioning this throughout the episode, but if you feel and are willing to donate to volunteer doctors who are helping sick and injured women, kids, and other people in the Hamas-Israeli conflict, especially with the Palestinians out there, as well as just other disaster zones around the world, because ever since starting in 2016 and solidifying in 2020. We're living in hell right now. Feel free to do so at either the link I posted in chat. If you're on Twitch, there's a little widget that will allow you to donate without moving away from the stream, or you can see that QR in the code in the corner. If you only have your device right now, like your cell phone or tablet, you can scan that QR code and it'll bring you to our Tiltify. I promise that it's not a man-in-the-middle attack. That's not a psyop. It's not like me social engineering you by like saying the opposite thing to get you what I want. No, that's the actual QR code to donate. So yeah. And when you donate, we get a notification, and that notification is permanent. And instead of just being like what I tried to do before, yay, thank you for following us, I will cheer you and worship you the entire episode, even if you donate $1. So there's that. So anyhow, I'm going to try to wrap this up around like 10 maybe. So let's get into the rest of the episode from the amazing interview. So without further ado, as I said, there's it's supposed to be monthly, but it's more like every 2 to 3 months meeting with blockchain-based developers. That's just called the Blockchain NYC Security Week. If you follow us on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, you may have seen us post about it occasionally when they actually decide to announce a meetup. And thanks to that group, I found out that the next day at the same location, the Olympix, this company I never heard of, is going to be launching a product that has to do with cybersecurity. So I was fascinated, and so I started looking at it. I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" And then I'm like, "Wow, it's in beta!" And I signed up for the beta. I talked to the engineers there, like some of the people that you saw in the chat we had in that whole interview, and I've been using their tool, and it's been absolutely goddamn excellent. So that's why I thought I'd bring them on for them to talk about what they do, and that's what we're going to cover for the remainder of this episode. So as you can see, their website is Olympix, spelled in a very millennial, young dude, now turning into older dude bro kind of way, with OLYMPIX.ai. So it's not Olympix with a C, it's Olympix with an X. So that's how you know these are the cool kids, just like me, heading into the middle age. But this is Olympix. What they have made is they make DevSecOps tools, and their first one that's currently in a live beta, and I'm going to post the beta link in the chat right now, because we don't believe in like that alpha sigma shit. We love our betas. Is this amazing AI tool that will audit your code in near real time to point out vulnerabilities in your smart contracts before you deploy them, which I can't even understate how useful that fucking is. Again, if you've ever seen, and I always recommend that, especially if you love crypto, blockchain, Web3, no matter how severe, whether it's just you're cheering it on or you're a developer, an investor, I always tell people there's a bunch of videos that are very critical of the space, and rightfully so, and I completely agree with them and have even stronger opinions. You've seen this on the show, that everyone should watch, and one of them is Folding Ideals, The Line Goes Up, and just like they said there. Oh, I forgot to ask the dev team of what they thought about vulnerabilities with bridges outside of smart contracts. I'm going to message them later about that, and in the next episode of Crypto Barons, I'll tell you what they told me. I forgot to do that. I had it in my notes to ask that question. I was just so blown away with like the conversation and the answers I was getting that I completely forgot to ask that. But as they said in that, so much of security in the blockchain space is being worried about man-in-the-middle of attacks, and people like editing the chain itself or doing 51% attacks, which are a thing, but thanks to the decentralized nature of most blockchains, even the most open, basic ones, it's way too difficult to do. And what's easier to do, and what usually happens, is not correct data being manipulated midway through transition. It's garbage data going into the system itself. So it's poorly coded contracts and poorly coded bridges being deployed and poorly coded stable coins. Again, Terra Luna. These were all mathematical and code errors that could have been fixed before production, and they weren't, and that's how it ended up the way it did. So being able to, do old video game style and push things out correct beforehand instead of doing the Microsoft modern day method of launch it in pre alpha and then just patch it along the way, which is terrible, is an amazing advantage point, and that's the new product Olympix launched. So as you can see with the website here, very snazzy website. said Web3 makes it easier to attack and exploit. Some of the figures that they post on their website, which is correct, I've checked them, audited them. There's been more than 15 billion in monetary amounts that's been stolen outside of Web3 and blockchain ecosystems. The amount of increase of funds lost, smart contract hacks alone between 2020 and now is 1,250%. Even something like 50% would be alarming, but it's not 100% or even 200%. 1,250 fucking percent. That's a huge. That's a fucking K2 from ground level. Goddamn Superman leaps in one bounds level of jump. Alone in 2022 of smart contract vulnerabilities hacks was 50% of the entire code in the blockchain world. And Olympix has been monitoring nearly $1 million in TLV across all DeFi. So this is how much they got on before they even launched their actual beta. And they mention here about scaling and safety stuff. And their 3 goals with their products are to mitigate risk, supercharge productivity, and restore power. Mitigate risk, they write, avoid being the next headline, like Web3 is going great, by securing your code before you even deploy it or it gets audited by a third party, which is also really expensive, time excusing, and sometimes causes even more confusion than beforehand. By doing this, they hope to increase productivity and doing everything on the dev side to avoid costly smart contract mistakes as well as financial costs in order to get them independently audited. And by having these sort of tools, they've now empowered the developers and the engineers that make these tools instead of them just making code and being like, I washed my hands of this no matter how shitty it is. The whole thing that they have here with Olympix with their beta tools, proactive detection. So they scan the entire blockchain since its first Genesis block, as we covered in our first episode of what Genesis is, to build a first-of-the-kind security intelligent database that uncovers and prioritizes smart contract vulnerabilities as you code. Security is now proactive, not reactive. Again, that's a huge advantage point in all of this. Gives you instantaneous solutions. So in addition to scanning, it doesn't just say, oh, here's the line. It tells you exactly what the issue is. And then the big thing that they're working on is leveraging even more AI so that it gives you a framework of what your fix should actually be. And that way you're more focusing on the design and the actual coding part instead of unfucking and unspaghettifying what's been written and possibly deployed. And then the other thing, which is why I brought up a lot of stuff about UI and GUIs, is its intuitive nature. As I said, by focusing on security from day one and considering it in every decision, Olympix makes coding with a security-first mindset as intuitive as part of the development process. So their whole thing is not to be in the way. They want to be a tool in a myriad of tools in order to help developers out, making a more secure ecosystem. So that way it protects users, it protects companies, it protects assets, it protects everybody. And the way it does this, again, is it screens for problematic code, and then it mitigates risk by quick fixes, which is something that's currently being worked on. And that because of this and how fast it goes, you can scale all of your dev pipeline for security pretty efficient and easy. So that's what they've been doing, which has been mainly covered by this amazing article I found on Web 3 O'Clock, which sort of explains the whole thing. As I said, they raised initially a 4.3 million in seed funding round, led by Bolt Start Ventures, and that's another interesting thing. If we go back to the website, if you click on their investors tab, that they're not just built by random Kim.com and like a bot army out of Russia or something. These are actual both stuff in the crypto world as well as a lot of stuff from just general computing and robotics type of world. So I like that they're just not sandboxed into Web3. They're literally taking this seriously by being dev security tools that just happen to also be in the blockchain space. And I think that's really awesome and important. So that's very interesting about the funding part. As I said here, Olympix raised all this money to further its mission by bolstering Web3 security through integration of artificial intelligences And it was founded in 2022, so very recent, very new company. So the fact that they were able to make a product in basically like a year and a half and be able to launch it and to be like this well made, in my opinion, as we're going to see in a minute, is very, very impressive, especially for a real use case for like AI as supposed to like ILM garbage. So another thing I want to mention is while I will be posting these links in chat, if you are on if you're on Twitch, in addition to the donation widget on Tiltify, where you can donate to the Doctors Without Borders to help injured people in Gaza and Palestine, especially the women and children, who are not only being hit by bombs, shrapnel, and bullets and pressure waves, but are also affected by poor water, sanitary conditions, lack of hospitals, things like that. Birth rates have gone down. It's just been an awful, nightmarish hellscape. If you want to donate even just $1 or $3 to there, you can do that with that widget on Twitch, or you can click the link in chat that I'm going to post once yet again, and you can also you can also scan that QR code with any device that has a proper camera in order to go directly through the Tiltify page where you can donate in either fiat or cryptocurrency thanks to the giving block and PayPal. But as I was saying, there's also a widget for GitHub. And we've mirrored what we're following on GitHub on there. So if you want to follow along with us, you can click on that and that'll open a separate tab without leaving the live stream. And of course, I'm also going to put the links in chat. So as they said in the interview, this was their old code, which was primarily Python. Since then, for speed reasons, which makes sense, as well as I guess some usability stuff, they switched to C#, if I remember correctly. But this is the Olympix integrated security that's being used. It says Olympix integrated security. Let me just double check something here. Yeah, is vulnerability analyst tools to be incorporated into conscious integrated workflows for code repositories on GitHub. So yeah, this is their whole base system here that they're using. And as as I pointed out, if we go to their actual GitHub page here, if it will properly load, that their original base that they used is from the Tree of Thought LLM here, which is done by the fine folks at the let me get to it here. My brain just died. The Princeton Natural Language Processing at Princeton University, and of course Princeton is a famous college in New Jersey that's full of yuppies that New Jerseyans hate, but also has a ton of tech revolutions there, such as the first usable working computer systems that we know of and things like that. So as you can see here, again, I don't know how much has evolved, but this is the general layout of the original Tree of Life LLM that we have here, which is instead of just direct input-output binary or input some arbitrary steps to output or even just like multiple choice, what instead is that they have a bunch of trees in each of these boxes where they consider thoughts. So when it goes through an input, similar to like onion routing on Tor, depending on what's chose here, instead of going straight down to the next thing, it will actually parse that data over to one of the other thought patterns until it reaches the desired output. So kind of more of like a pachinko method sort of thing. That's what it's been trained on. And we might look a bit about this coding, but instead I want to kind of go back to what we were originally covering and talking about here. So here's my conundrum right now. So one of the things the way I decided that we were going to test this tonight, and we'll do the next 15 minutes of this, is I found this amazing repository that is mirrored on our GitHub that's called Not So Smart Contracts. And what they are is they are a common examples of Ethereum smart contracts made in Solidity that feature very common overused, unfortunately, vulnerabilities, including code from actual smart contracts that failed. And it's a awesome learning research to learn about EVM and Solidity vulnerabilities as reference when performing security reviews. You know, it's the same way how, like, when you go to Objective-C and other security websites, there's an entire list of malware that you can download so that you can open Ghidra and learn how to dissect like malware that is based on real life malware or like inert versions of like real cybersecurity threats and things like that. So again, it's a great educational tool. And we have different types here that we can look at. We have one smart contract that's bad randomness, so the contract attempts to get on-chain randomness, which can be manipulated by users. We have a denial of service where the contract is so poorly designed that the attacker can stall the execution of it by failing in a certain strategic way. There's contracts that can be forced to receive Ether directly, bypassing all the security measures that are implemented. There's incorrect interface where implementation uses different function signatures in the interface. Race condition, which is not something the KKK invented, but instead is where transactions can be front-run on the blockchain itself. There's unchecked kernel calls where certain Solidity operations just silently fail without alerting the developer or people monitoring the network. And wrong name constructor, which anyone can become an owner of the contract due to a missing constructor. Again, these are all badly coded contracts on purpose in Solidity, which means it's perfect for this AI that's trained in Solidity by Olympix in order to look at. Now, here's the crazy part. I was a genius and decided to do a bunch of setup beforehand, and I have everything loaded. I couldn't get it running on Microsoft's VC Code or or their Virtual Studios coding platform, but the way more superior VS Codium managed to work, so I have it running. The issue is that I can't share the screen of that because my computer is really out of date and dumb and has a major error that will not allow me to update it in order to make OBS play nice with it. So what we're going to do is something we haven't done in a while, which is we're going to go back to the just chatting mode, and instead we're going to pretend that is freaking 2000, and we're going to do it's 2002, and I'm just going to take the camera, and I am going to point it at my laptop screen, like the scrub that I am, so you can actually see what's going on here. Let's set this up properly. Just want to make sure I have that. Maybe over here. Okay, that's that. There we go. So hopefully if I have everything set up and I need a minute to look at the screen. Okay, I tilted it down just a little bit. I know there's like a glare here, unfortunately, that maybe if I had like I don't know, if I had a smaller piece of... Okay, that almost killed me. Wow, all right. There we go. Let's put that back and have it not knock me out live on the stream, although that would be hilarious, especially if someone donated money over that. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I cover the, because it's like the light coming in from the top. Let me see what I can do here. That's too big. Let me see here. Because everything else I'll be able to do like live on the freaking... Oh, this is hilarious. All right. Hopefully that improves the lighting situation. I look absolutely hilarious right now. And let's see what it did. Yeah, I kind of did it. I kind of need one behind me as well, but I think you all kind of get the idea here. Maybe if I level it out like this, just hold it like that, that would be neat. Okay, so as you can see here, I have my not-so-smart contract here. And click on the denial of service one. I can open the auction.sol right here. As you can see, everything's laid out here. And because I already installed it, which by the way, I had to I initially installed the VS Microsoft Suite using Chocolatey. This would have made interesting stuff on air, but I didn't do that. And then when I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I already have VS Codium. Aren't they based on a similar thing? I'll see how that works. I then loaded this and managed to do the to go into the extensions tab and then just installed it from right here. So Olympix is now installed in. When I click over here, I already did the whole login process. So so we have the auction sol open, and then I'm gonna click start analyst, just like what happened on the interview. And you can see here it says workplace connected servers, scanning files, finding bugs, and it found a ton of them in this on purposely horrifically coded auction contract. As we can see here, counts the total, has 56 high vulnerabilities, 24 medium ones, and 43 low ones. And again, full circles mean like it definitely knows this is a problem, and half circles are a little bit more ambiguous here. So some of the issues, let me make this a little bit longer so we can like read everything. We have a bunch of array parameters that are an issue. Let's see what else. Nesting struct mapping. There's a bunch of different things here. So let's start going through stuff. So we have one on line 108 C27 here. That is an array parameter location. And if we click on that, it opens in Olympix what that means. So it says Ethereum arrays may be located in storage as part of the storage state associated with smart contracts, or in memory Ethereum data that exists only in a smart contract function or execution. In earlier versions of Solidity, arrays passed as function parameters could be specified without location of a keyword, in which case they would default to memory. This could lead into unexpected behavior if the function was intended to modify the state in a smart contract. I have a link to further reading, and then it shows a technical example of the vulnerable code right here with the red highlights of what's going on, and it then explains down here that in this example, the ambiguous array location up here in this part of the contract allows an owner to specify 3 contract administrators through the contract admins array, which is in storage. The add admin function allows the owners to add an administrator to the array, and the removal admin by slot functions allows the owner to remove any administrator by specifying the index of the array to clear. The update admin function is used internally to update the array. And the clear array shot functions is to use internally by clicking the array shot. Potential vulnerability with this code lies in the declaration of the clear array slot function, which is right here at the bottom. All of this here with the address with 3 arrays and admins, unit 8 slot. And as I said here, while the update admin functions correctly declares the underscore admin array parameter to be a storage array, the clear array slot function does not include a location keyword, meaning in this case it will just default to memory. As a result, the admin address will not actually be removed in the state of the contract, and any functions that are restricted to admins only in the contract will still allow execution by an admin who should have had that privilege removed. So basically, if you remove an admin, it would only be half removed, and an attacker could exploit that whole one area of the array says has a clean thorough through, but the other one doesn't because it wasn't declared of what exactly type of function it was in order to exploit. And then it shows you an example of like how you would correct it, because as of now, it doesn't know the exact method of how to correct it. You can't do that thing that they showed where you click a button and it corrects it, but it does show you, it does explain what it is, and it does show you the line in clear 108, the exact line that you would need to edit in order to make that work. And in fact, let's compare here of, let's see, address owners unit required. What did it say here? Just public owner. Right, because it doesn't say if it's public or not. So the fix would be, let's see, public 3, unit 6 next to admin slot. So as I said here, the correct storage array location contract, the array parameter, clear array slot function has been updated to include the storage keyword. So let's see here. Okay. So now I want to test something here. So if we put storage, let's see here. That's indicating the correct. Okay, so we have to put storage in one of these addresses. So addresses, owners, unit required. Let's see, internal. Just trying to make sure I got the right thing here. So if we go back, so I'm pretty sure if we put storage in front of underscore owners, that might fix the line. Let's see if that happens. If not, at least we got it in principle. Yep, and I'm going to do another. Yep, I just did that analysis, and as you can see, there is no line 108 problem. That fixed it right there, and now I just want on the next one, which is L217 C23 here. So again, when you actually fix it in real time, it will actually update it in real time that that's no longer a problem, and will change something right there. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to now rearrange some things, and that way we can go do everything else. So I'm going to put this down so I can get this chunk of cardboard off my head and the computer, and hope that a giant metal pipe doesn't fall on me. There we go. And let's get this pointing towards my mug. Perfect. So yeah, if I had the desktop mirror function working, I'd be able to have done that more smoothly, but instead we just did it like it's 1998. But that is basically what it looks like in VS Codium. Now let's look at it in a different context here. So what's really neat, and let's go to the desktop mode, is in addition to its VS compatibility, there's also the Olympix client, which is technically what their servers are running when you reach out for it. That's what the UI is interpreting to use, but you can also just run the client itself. In order to do that, you have to install it for your terminal platform of choice. In this case, I downloaded the Linux x64 version of it, and then I had to chmod it in order to actually work. So we're going to go to terminal mode now and play with that for a little bit. Let's see here. There's the terminal. Ta-da! Okay, so we have everything ready. So if we do a list here, you can see everything here, including Olympix itself. And we know that will work because I have to remember that I'm not root, so it's sudo /Olympix. And I believe we can type in help. Oh, and I have to type the password. I'm a little tired. There we go. So you see we have it properly installed in because it lets us know of the whole use case for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to run Olympix, and we're going to designate it a project for it to analyze. And in that project, we are going to, because I already logged in, because normally what you would first do is you would log in with the email, which I think I've already done, which gives you a certain code. Actually, let's do that right now. So I'll do sudo Olympix login and then I'm going to do this is a public email that I have, and this is also what I signed up with for, so not a new sort of thing. Oh, wait a minute. What did I screw up? I forgot to type the M in Olympix. Olym. MPIX. Let's try this again. We're logging in here. Working before, I'll make a note of that. Okay, so they just sent the email code. I'm going to log into, actually I'm dumb. I could do this on my phone and not dox myself. But I'm going to go into my email right here and type in that code. So yeah, I just got the request access email, and so I'm going to type that code in because it's a one-time use code here. Nice. 16969, nice. G5U. So log in. Oh, okay. So here's the good news and bad news. So we did log in. It does work. The problem is, in order to use that client, it's a premium feature. So I'm dumb, and I should have contacted Olympix to give me access to premium. But I think I might have a video of it in action, so you can see what's going on here. Let's look. If not, I'll just load up the video here. So let's find out.
Hey everybody,
Oh no, this is the
Mo from
actual
Olympix,
VS
and
Codium extension, as I showed before when I did the analyst and stuff. That's how it worked.
So
Let me find the YouTube of, hold on. Let's do it even better and do Invidious. And what I will do is I will find the videos that show the client one, and potentially, now that I know that that's a premium feature, I might have to do that for the GitHub, but we're still going to try the GitHub version and then call this a day. So here we go. Olympix. Keep forgetting the M in Olympix. All right, it's giving me all this other stuff. Let me load up YouTube and find it on there and then move the URL over. That might work. Because I was ripping videos earlier, and the VS Codium one was the only one that I actually was able to rip because I'm dumb. Why do I keep missing the M in Olympix? Dear Lord, what's wrong with me? Here we go. All right, so copy link. Let's move it over here. There we go. So I'll show you what the terminal one looks like if this behaves. So let's turn off terminal and look at here. So let's take a look at this, and I'll show you what it would look like if I was able to have access for terminal for this.
For example, using
My bad. I wasn't expecting NVIDIA to be this blurry. Let me see if I can actually load this on YouTube properly instead. Hopefully my entire stream won't die.
and you see it's working here. So how can I authenticate myself on this tool? Basically, the only thing you need to do is, for example, type this and log in. Then it will say, oh, you didn't provide your email. Okay, so provide your email. In my case, is this mail here. Actually, I'm using, yeah, I use this mail here. Okay. Then you receive a code. This is my code. Okay. I paste my code here. And that's it. I'm authenticated. Okay, so this is my token in case I want to use the GitHub Actions. I need this token here. Okay, this token doesn't change. So keep it saved somewhere on your computer. Got it? Okay. Yeah, I save this guy here for now. So the next step is test this project on any project. Test this tool on any project. So for doing this, I have this Parables project here. I will clone this on my desktop. Yeah, that's it. It's cloned. Okay. So how can I try to find security issues here? It's pretty simple. Yeah, I only need to execute my Olympix tool, analyze, then the path for my project, and then say variables. Sorry, let me see where I am. Oh, I am in the right place. Okay, so Olympix, analyze this, and then it will start to analyzing the full project, and return to me all the vulnerabilities it found. Okay? It's simple.
So that's what it would have normally looked like if we're able to get this running. Actually, for a test, I'm actually going to go back terminal and see, despite not us technically having permission, if we can actually get the thing running. Just to see, just because I'm more really curious. So normally it'd be sudo. This way, at least you get to see what an epic fail would look like. So analyze. Let me double check to make sure I typed that right. YZE, P, if I remember correctly, and then I have to put the pathway to the smart contract that I'm actually looking at. So I'm going to go through my other folder. I find exactly where it is, and then copy that. Copy that contract over. This is going to be the denial of service, and it's going to be the auction sold like we saw last time. So copy. Let me do it like this. And then it should be backslash auction AUC TION soul. Yeah, I have to log in. So it's not going to work unless it has a premium feature, which means I'm not sure if the GitHub thing will work. But we can at least go and do like the cursory steps on how it would work. And it's actually very interesting yet very complex about how using it on GitHub for GitHub Actions will actually make it work. So yeah, so if we take a look at our forked contracts here, let me look. Hang on. Let me turn off terminal so everyone can look at this. Because again, we're only going to go. Actually, while I'm here about this, I should once again remind that while I do love doing episodes like this, I am live streaming also to try to raise funds for the Doctors Without Borders, who are currently helping with multiple disasters and war zones out of the world, specifically of right now the whole Gaza-Palestinian conflict with both injured Israelis and especially a fuck ton of injured and sick Palestinians in the hundreds of thousands, most of them women and children, because the IDF force is just fucking horrible. So if you want to just help out these certified doctors and surgeons and cardiologists and trauma specialists and nurses to be sent over entirely on volunteer money in order to help out just someone around the world who is way less fortunate than any of us despite political and economic circumstances. You can click the link in chat through Tiltify or get the link by scanning that QR code with your device in the lower left-hand corner. If you're on Twitch, there's a little widget you can click that will open up a separate window or tab that will allow you to do this while watching the stream. Tiltify is amazing because they deal with the money and their experience with it as a registered charity organization. We don't touch any of the money on this. We don't see it. In fact, if we don't make our $200 goal by April 1st, all the money that's currently and will be donated underneath 200, I'm hoping to reach that or go more, but all the money that's already donated is already going to go to the Doctors Without Borders to help injured and sick children and women in Palestine and throughout the rest of the world. So it's plus. And because this is Crypto Barons, in addition to using PayPal and swipe in order to do fiat donations. You can also use the giving block there for free to donate in crypto, whether it's some of the big ones like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Doge, or any of the million other mid-range but valuable coins out there. You can use that for. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. And again, you don't even have to do a lot. If you want to knock Murph with his $50 donation by donating like $50.50 or $51, or do like the math, I think it would be $19 to donate to turn it into $69, or like $19.69. So it could be $69.69, which is double nice. You can totally do that. But the way we've always reached these goals in the past is people like myself who are broke, but all we had to do was just a bunch of people donating $1, $3, $5, $10 in order to make it over. In fact, 3 times we've literally had it where the last day of streaming that we got it to our goal of $200 or $400 was because someone literally donated $1 in, and that pushed it to its goal. So all these little bit, every grain of sand makes eventually an entire beach. So every little bit helps with that. So while I say that, let's do the outline of how this would work. So let me just remember some shit. Need to compare and look at my notes. The first thing here is that we have a public repository, and that public suppository, Freudian slip, it should be called a suppository with how all the shitification goes, but is in our GitHub here, which again, if you're on Twitch, we have a widget in which you can look at this stuff and follow along. If you want the specific GitHub link to the denial of service, I'm going to put that in chat itself. There you go. So now we're going to go back here, and what we need to do, we need to create a new file, and we need to call it, actually, we don't need to create a new file. Copy path. All right, I think it's that we need to create a new folder on here. I will say that our next Crypto Barons episode, I'm going to reach out to Olympix to give us the access to do this, and if we're able to get it before, what day we're doing this, if we're able to get this before the 24th, if I remember correctly, we had 23, 24, I think it's the 24th. Like with the pre-search thing that I've already fixed, I'm going to I'm going to cover I'm going to cover this with the new access again, so you can see what it looks like in real time. Let me at least do the setup for this. Where are my notes here? Because I know I have to add, I think it's a folder I need to add here. All right, so where am I here? So, all right, we get to the thing. It's actually use terminal and CD into that now. So let me bring up terminal again. So let's see what I have listed here. CD into we need to actually I actually don't think I didn't git clone it on here. So git clone. So first of all, we need to fucking git clone this thing properly. So let's do that first. Yeah, I'm just getting that from there. That's the URL. So we're going to clone this over. Now it should be in there so we can CD into not so smart contracts. Okay, so we're in there. Here's all of our contracts. Then we can CD into so now we're CD'd into there. We have all the contracts for that. Let's look at the stats. If we can. What? Oh, status. I'm dumb. Branch is up to date. Nothing to commit. Work with tree clean. That's good to see. So the next thing here that I have in my notes. Hold on. I'm done as hell. Hold on. Ah, just missed it. Let's add this first part. So it's going to git add. Okay. Ah, why do I keep missing this? I should have more properly wrote this down instead of keeping it as like a real-time note. So we're going to git commit can't tell if it's first contact or first contract. Hold on. Oh, first commit. Oh, jeez. 2 M's. Oh, yeah, I need to config first. Oh, I'm dumb. 2 dashes. Okay. So G is not confit, it's config. Okay, now that those two are there. Okay. So we got that going. Okay, so that didn't work. Ah, so we're stuck here with this, I think. Hang on, let's see what else is here. Want to see if there's an alternate way around this. Hang on. Ah, why are we like this? All right, let me just double check something with the way this whole thing is set up. In order for it to work, what I'm trying to do is I should be able to make a file that's called workflow, but I would have to do it in terminal, which I can't properly do, unfortunately. So instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to do one last video, and I'm going to load what it's like to use the GitHub Actions in the video. And let's see here. And we're going to watch that instead because unfortunately I couldn't get it to work on my end due to stupidity. So we're going to watch this video and you'll see what I mean by here. And then the next episode, 2 weeks from now, let me double check my calendar here. 2 weeks from now should be... Yeah, the 24th. So on the 24th, yeah, probably from like 7 to 9, or I might even do it earlier. I might do it from 4 p.m. to 7 just to get things out of the way and get things done early. If I get the actual higher permission from Olympix for this, I'll be able to do this code in real time. So in the meantime, let's watch them do this and you'll see what I mean. It's a really neat way of implementing GitHub using the client system. So here we go.
Hey everybody, here's Monsieur Braga from Olympix, and on this video I'm going to show you how to use Olympix GitHub Actions, okay? So one important information here is you need to be a premium user, okay? You need to be a premium user to use this feature. If you're not a premium user on Olympix, then please talk to us here to get your premium experience, okay? By default, only free users only access the VS Code extension to find vulnerabilities on your code, but if you want to use CLI or GitHub Actions, you need to have this premium access, okay? So the first step here is to go to your repository. In this case, I don't have a repository yet, so I create a new one here. That's, I don't know, this name, GitHub Actions, and then here, please pay attention to this. By default, it's not us, it's GitHub. You cannot use the GitHub security analysis if you are a private but you're not an enterprise, okay? So you need to be a public or a private enterprise. Got it? This is very important. If it doesn't happen, if it's not this way, GitHub, you reject the analysis, okay? So let's do this. Okay, so I have my repo here. I clone this guy here. Okay, terminal, go to the desktop, git clone. Okay, so this is my project, and then I copy the content from a project called Parables.
This is all the setup, by the way.
Open source code here. You can.
I don't know why my voice sounds so hoarse all of a sudden.
It's not our project. We're just using this for to show you how it works. Okay, so perfect. I just have my code here. That is basically exactly the same parables. I not add a git ignore to add other to exclude files like this, because this is not the purpose of this video, just to show you how the security analysis work. Okay, so git add, git commit, first commit, git push. Okay, so I probably have now my project here, right? Okay, a normal process for GitHub users. Okay, simple like this. Now we need to create the workflow, right? Probably you already know what is this because you're trying to integrate the security part on your workflow. But if you don't know how to do this, you basically need to make a folder, call it GitHub, go to the GitHub folder, and then make another folder called workflows, and then go to the workflows, and then create any file here. For example, touch security YAML. Okay, this is the how we create a workflow. We need this full path here. Okay, and then it's very important that you access this URL here to see how it works. We always update our tutorials, but basically here is showing exactly what I'm going to show you on this video. And basically what it's asking me is to create an Olympix API token on my repo. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to the settings, going to the secrets and variables, and then going to the actions, new repository secret, and put here my token. Okay. Okay, but what is my token? Okay, the token you can get using your CLI or talking to the sales department or whatever you're talking, any person you're talking on at Olympix. But usually you can use your CLI to get this. So let me show you how to do this using your CLI. So using a CLI, you only need to go to where your CLI is. In my case, I didn't add to my path, but it's here on my desktop here. I use sign in. Oops, I need to put my email here. Okay, then the software you send me an email. Oops.
This is the same login that I was doing earlier.
Here. Okay. Place the email here. No, sorry. Place the code of the email here. And that's it. This is the token. This is the token you need, okay? Then paste the token here.
So yeah, when you log in, it generates an API token for you to use.
The second thing the tutorial is saying to you is to enable the permissions to read and write on your workflow. And for doing this, you need to go to the actions, general, and go to the read and write permissions. And that's it, okay? You don't need to do anything else regarding the configuration. What you have now is a code here, we have the secret, and then we have that setting. Okay, so let's do the last part. The last part is very simple. Just copy this code here to your workflow. So again, let's go there. Let's go to the GitHub workflows. Then you have the security email, could be any name. Let's add this. Let's add this. Edit this file and place here what you need. So it's very simple. It's saying that when I push any code, you can change this. We don't require this, okay? But when I push a code, then I clone the repo, then I run the Olympix tool. This is very important. This Olympix tool, you generate an Olympix serif file, and then you need to use this other guy here to upload the serif to the GitHub analysis, okay? Security analysis. So I save this, then I add this. I use a terrible name. Okay, so let's see our project here. Okay, it's here. Let's see if we already have an action working. Yeah, it's running here. So So let's wait a moment. It's running. Now it's cloning. See security 2, and then it's sending the analysis to the GitHub. Our tool already executed here. It was really fast. And that's it. The pipeline is done. Okay, so this is my code. So what changed? Here on the security tab,
So yes, that was what we were originally going to do in Terminal. If one, I did proper Terminal GitHub setup, as well as if I actually requested to have the Premier access, which I'm going to try to do, and hopefully we'll revisit a bit of this on the next episode. And what's really neat about all of this, as one, I guess, final thing about Olympix, is that even if you don't use this tool, they have a blog where, usually these type of blogs, what they're blogging about is like, hype and promotion. If you go to some of the older posts, you could see them talk about like when they hit fundraiser goals and things like that. But instead, they, again, have put their money where their mouth is, and they've used their blog to mainly cover major hacks. So like usually when you see Web3 is going great, it just gives you a summary of how they got hacked and like haha. This is the actual, like, it'll actually show you why and how they got hacked. So like something we covered previously was Stake.com's targeted hack. So if you're watching there on Kick, Stake.com is the company that owns your ass on Kick. And that's why there's so much online gambling dumbass live stream stuff. And also why there's so many hot bikini women that's turned into basically OnlyFans light. Not that I'm complaining, that's just how it is in reality. Is because they're owned by Stake.com, and they want to get young people gambling earlier. So between alpha male influencers and free titties, that's what they're hoping for. So, as they said, they got hacked because they suffered a $45 million loss due to a private key compromise, and this is their analysis of it. They show the value change here. They actually show like the code where they took the coins off of curb. Like this is the bad coding that they exploited in order to turn it, including the actual contract address and everything. So even if you are not into the tools, as I posted in chat, they have a really cool blog where if you're interested in Web3 security or security in general, and they have it broken down by category as well, I think you'll find this very entertaining. So yeah, that was Olympix. Again, you can find their website, even though I just posted the blog one, at Olympix, OLYMPIX.ai. And they made a very cool security tool that actually, one, helps out blockchain and Web3 smart contract stuff, using an actual concrete real world example of how AI would, and current AI state with LLMs would benefit a company, instead of marketing snake oil buzzword stuff that you would see in both the crypto and the LLM AI world. So, seeing real hackers who are hard on themselves but are motivated enough to make these tools and to make them like really clean, workable, innovative, and pushing everything in something that the space should have but is totally lacking, that earns my hacker respect, which I guess in exchange, even though we haven't put to a vote yet, earns DCG 201's hacker respect. And it'll be interesting to see Olympix evolve from this, as well as I'm going to go to face mode now, as well as like I would love to drag them into some of the stuff that I'm going to be trying to lift off the ground, particularly in Jersey City late spring and early summer. I'll give you a hint. There's now a Crypto Mondays in Jersey City that I've been checking out because I usually go to the New York one. In fact, I'll be at the New York one tomorrow, schmoozing around. So if you see me at the whole social event, just wave hi to me. I'll be wearing like some crypto shirt and a hat or something. And I'm hoping to bring them, and especially like one or two of their engineers, back for something that I hope to see happen. So there you go. So that's really it for our live stream. Sorry if the back half, because of all the technical errors, seemed anticlimactic, but I was really enthusiastic by actually showing the faces and minds behind a really good security product that happens to be in the Web3 space, and getting to pick their brains both at an engineering level as well as like a product management sort of level. And so that's to me what the apnea of Crypto Barons is all about, is featuring like actual code and interviewing real ass actual hackers, and being interested in something in crypto, in which cryptocurrency, in which then you will learn other real computing and hacking stuff, such as what the crypto in cryptocurrency is, actual real life cryptography methods, privacy and security methods, things like that. So I'm pretty happy with today's episode. If you really want to make me happy, even if it's outside the stream, one last thing push here. Again, every live stream until April 1st, we're trying to raise at least $200 for Doctors Without Borders. And to put it in perspective, it's $15 away from halfway to our goal, and we still have a month and a half left of doing streams. So even if you donate $1 or $3, that's going to put again, if 3 people put in $5, we would be instantly halfway to our goal. So that we already got there because of donations like that. So I understand that everyone's broke, including me, but if you want to really help out, particularly women and children who just happen to be living in Palestine and in the Gaza area, which includes Israel, by the way, and they're being shot with bullets and having dribs fall on them and inadequate water and hygiene. So the babies are being born stillborn. Everyone's getting sick through cholera's making a comeback because we're bringing everything back, both shitty movies and shitty diseases, things like that, as well as other disaster zones around the world. You can donate to have these amazing doctors and nurses on their entire volunteer time doing it. And thank you, Shred Dark, for following us. I'm going to assume because of the color on Twitch. In fact, while I'm going to do the ending, I'm going to find out who followed us earlier, and before we do the raid, I will announce that other person that I missed that followed us. So you don't have to donate. If you do donate live, even if it's at this point, $1 or something, I will worship you until the end of the stream. And again, at the end, because even if we don't meet our goal of collection of fiat and cryptocurrencies for Doctors Without Borders, all the money that's currently donated is not handled by us. It's handled through Tilted Fires Trust, third-party company, and all that crypto and fiat will go to Doctors Without Borders, even if we don't meet our goal or not. So that would just make me happy. Again, donating on stream, it's more of just saying I get to worship you the entire stream, but you can donate at any point. In fact, in the past, people have donated between the live stream shows, and then I've announced who donated between them. The same way, person I missed, I'm going to announce too. So that was it for Crypto Barons. I was really excited to do this episode. It was a tons of fun episode to do, and to give everyone kind of an update here. So if everything goes right on the 18th, we will have our, unfortunately, probably one Master of Unlocking episode. If I could squeeze in an episode on the 26th, maybe, but I think we're only doing one Master of Unlocking this month, and we're going to go full on crazy in March and April, especially in March. And I actually might have a side thing for Master of Unlocking in April that will be really cool, that will allow me to cover something from Covert Instruments and celebrate a traditional holiday in a unique way, let's put it that way. And the next Crypto Barons, however, so this was part 1. On the 24th, might be at 7 p.m., might be at 4 p.m., because we might do it earlier, but regardless, we're going to be doing the episode that I wanted to do in January, which is about, our topic's going to be blockchain and Web3 tech involving social media, because we covered social media like 2 years ago, and holy shit, have things changed. And I can tell you right now, we're going to be covering 3 main platforms. We're going to be covering 2 well, each is kind of trying to one's trying to definitely replace one thing, but one's kind of trying to be a more alternative. So we're going to cover Farcaster, which is basically a blockchain replacement for Twitter that's been gaining a lot of traction. We're going to be the bulk of the episode is going to be covering Nostr, which is kind of like if Farcaster is the Twitter of the blockchain Web3 world, then Nostr is the mastodon of it. It's more decentralized. It's made by hacker-ass hackers. And what's going to make it really neat is that in addition to looking at the code and setting up both the Farcaster and Nostr on air, the Nostr has a hardware component, which is something we really haven't done and rarely have done on the show. So I get to cover both hardware and software and hackers fuckways. So that's going to be fun. And what's going to make the episode special is we're going to drop probably the Kick live stream for the episode. And instead, we're going to be also covering a new live stream service that is super blockchain and crypto based called Unlonely. I've already set up the account for that, and we will cover the very interesting features that, remember when we were on DLive and I said that was the crypto live streaming platform? I think this has both Odyssey and DLive beat in terms of how Web3 as fuck it is. So we're going to be covering that as we live stream on it. So again, that will happen on the 24th. I will announce the date and time that week. And so basically, we're going to be on a break for about a week. We might announce some really cool thing about DCG 201 with meetings guarantee coming back in March. So we are definitely going to be back in March, but I'll cover more details next week while we have our hiatus on streaming. And then our last two streams will be 18th for Master of Unlocking with the Lockpicking Lawyer drinking game in front of a live audience. And then again on the 24th, covering all the social media stuff I just talked about, Web3 with Crypto Baron. So that was our episode. Thank you for watching. Again, if you want to donate, definitely check out that Tiltify link for Doctors Without Borders. If you want to follow us, the best ways you can do so is to follow our Medium blog, which will, starting in March, announce our in-person hybrid meetings, as well as cool hacker events that we're attending and helping out. In fact, I'm going to be helping out with one coming up in March, and then there's going to be big announcements in the summer about what we're covering, so stay attention to that. And if you want to know when we live stream, especially when we get delayed like today, which unfortunately happens often, you can go to our link tree and follow us on all of our socials on Twitter, aka X, the Hostuck's on instance of Mastodon, Minds.com, Blue Sky, what is it called? Spouty, GitHub, all of those. And that also has our links to follow us and subscribe to us for free on Twitch, YouTube, Twitch, YouTube, PeerTube, Odyssey, and Kick. We also have a bunch of other links that are going to be up there starting next week, including the Unlonely stream. If you are on YouTube, you're going to be bounced to a live stream that I believe happened earlier today about a platform that we're going to be covering in a future episode in March or April on Crypto Baron. So you get a head start with that. It's really informative, really unique sort of ecosystem. If you're on Twitch, we are now going to raid a random Twitch stream. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be something tech related, might be something crypto related, might be just completely weird and bizarre. Whatever it is, stay tuned on both Twitch and YouTube. You're about to see something next after this. But regardless, again, thank you for watching. Thank you who've donated in the past. I hope to see some donations between now and the next episode and then future episodes for Doctors Without Borders. Thanks to Hack Manhattan, which again, the open houses are this upcoming Tuesday and Thursday, and every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 7 p.m., located at 37th Street between 6th and 5th Avenue in Manhattan. You can see me there, and on the 2nd and 4th of those Tuesdays, you can watch me and participate in learning lockpicking from there. But regardless, hope to see you at those open houses. Thank you, Hack Manhattan, for hosting us. Thank you for Olympix for making an amazing project. Congratulations for that. It's very much needed in the blockchain Web3 scene, and I can't wait to see all the future stuff you guys work on. Thank you for allowing me to interview you. Thank you for watching Crypto Barons. I'm Sidepocket, part of DCG 201. Now we're going to go through, hey, Titty Bites. Unfortunately, we're ending the stream, but stay tuned on Twitch. In the next minute or three, we're going to raid some sort of tech or weird stream. So say hi to them for us. So stay tuned for that. Hack the Planet, Dirty Jersey represents. And remember that if you think you're going to beat the demo gods and have pre-configured something, you have definitely not pre-configured enough, because whether it's OS system updates or anything like that, it's never prepared. Don't worry. One, we started late, and two, an archive of the Twitch stream will be up for a week, and we have permanent. Thank you, Titty Bites, for following us. I thought you've been following us this entire time. I didn't know that, but regardless, you can get a recap of this stream permanently on YouTube, Odyssey, and PeerTube. And as I said before, on the 24th, I'll announce the time 2 weeks from now, but on the 24th will be the next Crypto Barons, which we will be covering both hardware, software, and hardware stuff in really interesting social media platforms using blockchain tech. So stay tuned for that. So anyhow, say hi to whoever we raid, go on to. See you next episode. Peace and enjoy the music. Bye, everybody. Thanks. So we are going to start the Twitch raid right now. Thank you, Cassie, for following us an hour ago. I missed your alert for that, but thank you so much for following us. Stay tuned for the raid on Twitch, and if you're on YouTube, stay tuned for the video you're about to look forward to. So see you on the 24th on the DCG 201 live stream. Hack the planet!
stop it.